Hello, business owners. Do you owe back taxes to the IRS? Do you owe back payroll taxes to the IRS? If so, this message is for you. I'm Tina Hall. I'm an enrolled agent with Halls Associate Tax Relief. My partner is a former IRS revenue agent. He worked with the IRS in collections for over a decade. He was also their teaching instructor that taught other revenue agents the policies and procedures and how the collection agency worked. Together, we have a team of other former IRS agents, tax attorneys, and bankruptcy attorneys that specialize in helping business owners just like you get back in compliance, pay their back taxes, and help their business grow. That is what we do every day. There's nothing too big or too complicated that we can't help you handle. Let's talk about payroll taxes. If you have employees, you're required to withhold the employee part of the Social Security and Medicare along with their federal withholding. Together, you're also required to pay back or to pay in the employer part of the Social Security and Medicare. The part that you withhold from the employee's paycheck is also called the trust fund. The IRS calls the part that is withheld from the employee's paycheck the trust fund because in reality, it's withheld from their check and it's put in a trust, and then you just pay it on behalf of the employee to the government. If those taxes aren't paid on time, or the payroll forms such as the 941s and the 940s are not paid or not filed on time, the IRS can and will take action. Here's the truth. Payroll tax is probably the most serious tax or the most serious problem that a business can have with the IRS. The IRS can and will take legal action such as liens. They can actually seize your bank account, and actually through the trust fund recovery penalty, they can assess you personally, for the trust fund part of the employment taxes that was withheld from the employee's paycheck. And most business owners don't realize that their corporation will not protect them. Most of the time, all this starts with cash flow problems that the business owner has. You may have supplier needs or suppliers that need to be paid, utilities that need to be paid, and then you just stop and think, I'll just pay these payroll taxes next week or next month. You don't really intend for this to go on for months, but months go by, and then the IRS starts sending you notices and assessing those penalties and interest. And then they start sending threatening letters, threatening you with enforcement. The IRS is the most feared agency there is. When you get letters from the IRS, it can be scary. You get nervous and then you don't really know where to start. You don't know who to call or what to do to help resolve your issues or your back taxes or back payroll problems. And then who do you trust? Sometimes you hear scary stories about hiring these national companies and how they take your money, and they really just don't help you at all. But I would tell you, don't panic, because we're here to help you. We are on your side. Have all your quarterly returns been filed, your 941s, your annual 940s? If not, the first thing I would tell you to do is start filing those and start paying your payroll taxes now. The IRS wants you in compliance, so that we got to get you back in compliance first, and then we can work on the back payroll taxes or the back taxes that you have. Once we review your situation, because believe me, no two situations are alike, but once we review your situation, we can help you come up with a resolution plan that is best suited for you. And there are options in resolution plans. Some of those options are to pay the lump sum, which would be file all your taxes, file all your quarterly taxes, your 941s, your 940s, and then just pay the amount that you owe in one lump sum. There's also the installment agreement, which means after we file everything that is past due, your filings that have not taken place, and then figure out the amount that is actually due, we can actually figure that out and set up an installment plan to where you pay so much a month. If you can't afford to pay that much a month, and then we'll review your situation, but there's also a partial pay installment agreement. So, don't fret if the IRS says you owe X amount of money and you're stressing because there's no way that you can pay that. There are solutions out there. We just got to figure out which one is best for you. There's also what they call the currently not collectible or the C&C status. And there again, that everything depends on your financial situation. Then there's also an offer in compromise or the OIC. Once we review everything, we can come up and help you come up with a resolution plan that is best suited for you. Sometimes when people think of an offer, we have people that'll come in here and they'll say, I want to do an offer on the amount of money that I owe. But most people don't realize that doing an offer is just not as simple as just saying, I have X amount of money, I owe X amount, and this is what I want to offer them. Everything depends on your financial status, and there's a formula that the IRS uses. So if an offer is something that you're thinking about doing, or that's the best solution for you, we can help you figure that out. I would tell you that if you started getting letters from the IRS, don't just trash them or don't just ignore them. The IRS is going to eventually get very aggressive in enforcements. Just give me a call and let me and my team help you get a resolution plan going that best suits you.